good day, and time flies, and let us be brief, and let us have this dense agenda. So they're here, they're the most willing to listen in this room, so let's try to go straight. So we would like to share on our experience. We'll speak about SOC and vendors' experience in the project of designing the process of management of incidents of cybersecurity within technological stack Kaspersky Security Vision. So we also have our leader in
На данный момент у нас в СОКе работает две команды, разнесенных по территориальному признаку. Одна команда сидит во Владивостоке, другая сидит в Нижнем Новгороде.
SOC, and we have Western and Eastern teams, so we distribute their targets. And that was the moment when we really needed more systems. WAF was not enough, and another thing was not enough, and we would like to have more automated things, and we started having this bottlenecks, this inefficient time use by the staff, and the staff was to do a lot of routine operations, and they were silted, if you may say so, in terms of how to handle their incidents. And when you grow with your SOC, then you start growing your inefficiency. And another thing is the standardization within the SOC. So you understand that this person works in this manner and this person works in that manner because they have this knowledge and routine. But we, as the leaders of SOC, as the leaders of this department, we are to save the standard processes and to make sure we meet the standards of the processes. And it's a headache, but this is what is needed. Then you need to synchronize your team's activities. It happens when there is an incident, and then you transfer the incident from west to east, and there are some lags or gaps in communication, in alarm settings. So let's say there was some gap in transfer of the case, and then you need to follow all the steps. Another thing you need to watch is this adaptation of new stuff, SOC, when it is designed in standard way, the second, the third line. Sooner or later there will be the outflow and there will be new people coming in, and it is important to make sure that the team has this decent and balanced knowledge. So you may have a situation when one team is stronger, another team is weaker, and this will be a disbalanced system. So they will catch up with some incidents and leave other incidents because they just don't like them that much. So it is a very important target, and you need to solve it. So the colleagues came to this need to solve their tasks, to orchestrate this system, and by the launch of the system, the main instrument was CM, and we were to implement the instrument not only meeting the targets and goals, but not vanishing the current structure. So we wanted to manage the transactions and to save on what was going on previously, and then to balance it with this cybersecurity. The first task is integration of the CN class and the integration, and we used this key bind CM SOAR, and we implemented the following scenarios: this alarm on possible incidents, and to upload it to SOAR, then sending the request for the list of events. Then this having the list of the incidents, then investigation, the incident, and the comment to change the status of the incidents in CM, and editing the lists of extractions. And then you have some artifacts of the incidents that you detect and define while you assess the incident. And the second task is the tuning of the scenarios of reaction and feedback, and they were standard-based through our colleagues. And here it is important to understand what the reaction to the incident is, this incident, and then it is the number of actions that we are to implement to minimize the incident on protected infrastructure. The easiest way is to describe it through block design, and we use the constructor of routine, and as the result, with all the tuning, all the scenarios of feedback, the colleagues obtained the needed tools to mitigate the gaps in the instrument. Then they managed the lack of standardization, and they adjusted new stuff to the distribution team and synchronization of team work. Every activity, all the analytics, they are bringing it to SOAR, and moreover they decrease the delays in feedback and how they react to the incident of the security. So the initial system was the SOAR, and then we started having this external service on hash, mails, and so on, and internal infrastructural systems on contest of assets, of vulnerabilities and accounts. And we started having this kind of an open ecosystem as part of the process of information management, and within this.
Итак, что же мы получили после внедрения SAR? SAR — это на самом деле вообще замечательная такая штука, потому что мы не ожидали такого эффекта, который получили. И как наркоманы, мы когда внедрили, нас уже было сложно остановить. Со временем появился отдельный человек, который...
In terms of BOSS, and therefore we integrated everything in the SOAR. So this work in a distribution team of SOC, so this is about the transfer of data, response, and so on. Another important thing is that we are to define this 12-hour shifts, and there is a situation when people are tired of signals, and they start to be not proactive in feedback to different incidents, so it's kind of a silted vision. This is a huge problem of SOCs, and we try to decrease the impact and the load, and to decrease this tiredness from the signals. And therefore we distributed, we managed to reorganize the load on stuff. So let's say malware agents, they work 24/7, but we also work the same way, but the attacks, they were having place and taking place in this early morning, like 7 a.m., when people start falling asleep. So you need to distribute the load to decrease this load, so you come up with this 12-hour shifts, and to make sure you decrease the tiredness. So this 12-hour shifts is quite a difficult shift indeed. People get tired, it's a long shift, and it is important to decrease their load, to bring more automatization. Let's say before there was about 20-30 clicks, to make sure you have only one click to input the data and the products they allowed it, and you need to use it. So this quality analysis of data, when new team members come and they see these incidents critical, and important, and SOAR is offering the synchronization of the staff when they work together, all together, and it is very comfortable and convenient, and we all benefited from this. Specialists in the regions, they react faster because they know the specification and target of the region. And the specialists are not tied to the regions. They monitor the whole surface of the circuit, of the external perimeter, and they do not distribute their focus of attention through different objects, so it is an important thing. So there are advantages, but we have disadvantages and problems that we are to solve, and the problems, they become more visual, and after SOAR implementation, then they are highlighted, and then you need to focus on them. So you focus on prevention, and it will be more difficult to assess the quality of work of the staff. Then you need to come up with KPIs, with metrics. So it is good that SOAR system is enabling you to do this, and there are customized reports and all the metrics, they're standard in SOAX, and then you can bring even more additional elements.
And also we see that, of course, the risks of the disciplines and the labor discipline and the work ethics. So everything is just step by step, and don't forget to enter this or that data, and because the reporting is going to be passed on up the ladder. And so we also have a simplified formula for us, because the distributed security operations center is not an easy stuff, but this is fast reaction time and the fresh view of those who are on duty, and of course the mitigation of them being tired of the routine operations. And for complex operations, and when we build the info security space, so in terms of the orchestration system, we have the servers and the SOAR, so of all the software that we have, we had the top tier systems like IT systems for critical incidents, identification of critical incidents, and the context important for the analysts about the threats, and also this is the systems that are in place. But if we look at the very top level, so the information on vulnerabilities, incidents, all this information is required to build the strategic, the risk management systems, compliance, and all sorts of audits. And this is again a standalone topic for, and of course at the stand I'll be more than happy to talk more about it. And then the results of the implementation. So it's hard to stop when you started to implement SOAR, because this is an open in architecture, and you have some good API, good documentation, everything is being implemented, and you want to go into full automatic mode on many aspects. And of course, we have different other systems, BI system, so that all these wonderful pictures, a couple of beautiful pictures, so that everybody understands and the top management understands what's happening on. So all these things are quite vivid, and you can have the holistic view, you can calculate it and pass on from one department to another, and also automatization or automation of systems. Everything is registered. We have the workflow properly set up, and if we have some deviations, you can fine-tune them, and everything is, let's say, especially if we have some numbers and the incidents, number of incidents, and the funnel of incidents that you have at your analytics or departments that make these calculations. So this does work. And also when the new person steps into the shift, so of course they have the much more efficient when they start their shift. So some of the challenges, yes, it's important to touch upon the subject as well, because when you integrate the systems with good documentation, with good API, bad API, then bad documentation, so it can be different ways, and unfortunately not everything will be seamlessly integrated, and unfortunately that's unfortunate, but nevertheless, it's much better environment these days, and secure visions for Kaspersky lab, everything is just great and out of box, and it's just you can test it. But we integrated the systems; they didn't have API, and you can do it in a little bit different way. So different processes in the companies, and the companies operate not in one location, and they have subsidiaries and some daughter companies, and they have their own ways to identify threats. And so when we started working with them, because people kind of object to some of these novelties, and nevertheless you would have to do it, and this is what you have to keep in mind. And also synchronize, for example, +8 hours in Vladivostok, 4 in some other countries, I mean some other parts of the country. So if you look at those logs, so you will see that, okay, so what time frame are we talking about? Because when you integrate a system, you need to include and adjust the time zones so that you put the markers. Unfortunately, we fell into that trap, unfortunately. And then getting back to the track, and so that we wanted to integrate the key systems of Kaspersky and Security Vision SOAR. So, however, for complex kind of tackling of building the info security ways, we would have to integrate with the most of the systems, and so implement them, the active sets, so that the analysts have a good context.